Welcome to Business Reporter. I'm Louise People, and today I'm joined by Lee Hopley, Chief Economist from EEF. Good morning, Lee. So why does productivity matter?
Well, let me start with what productivity actually means for an individual business. So a company looking to increase productivity will be looking to extract ever more value from their output for every unit of input in their business. So that's really important for a business, because if a company is doing that systematically and successfully, it's going to be more competitive, and that means it's going to have more success in terms of boosting sales both at home and in overseas markets, and it's going to bring bottom line benefits as well in terms of improved profitability. Economists like to see productive, successful businesses because that means you've got a better chance of delivering strong, sustainable growth over a long period.
Now, what sectors are the most productive?
There's enormous variation in productivity performance within any economy, and in the UK that's also true. So if improving productivity is all about increasing value and improving efficiency, key ways to do that are by investing in technology, innovation and modern machinery. Now, the sectors that are more likely to do that and therefore have an edge when it comes to improving productivity are sectors in industry and manufacturing. And we certainly see that when we look at some of the official statistics. So we've got some world-class sectors in pharmaceuticals, for example, and also in transport. So that's things like the aerospace, the car industry in the UK.
What about Europe?
Traditionally, the UK hasn't fared particularly well, just if you look at some of the aggregate statistics compared to Europe. The UK's official statistics agency would suggest that businesses in France, for example, are on average about 25% more productive than those found in the UK. But that won't necessarily be the case for every individual businesses. And indeed, coming back to some of those really productive sectors that we've got in the UK, pharmaceuticals, the car industry, aerospace, and the best of what we have in the UK will undoubtedly be as good or better than what can be found out there globally.
What role does investment play in productivity?
There is no magic bullet for improving productivity, but there are some components of the formula, and those would be around investing in new ideas and innovation, investing in technology and modern machinery, and investing in people. Now, coming to looking at industry and manufacturing, for example, it is a very capital intensive sector, and lots of the companies that we talk to are really focused on upgrading and replacing modern machinery and technology to keep up with competitors. That's what can make them significantly more productive than they were 12 months ago, or some of their competitors in other parts of the world. But these investments need to be complementary. So machines alone won't give you the productivity edge. You've got to have the new ideas, the new products, the new processes, and also new services that can give you increased sales in new markets. And complementing all that, underpinning that, is the skills of the workforce. So having great technical skills and great management and leadership skills are the things that really pull all these investments together.
How about the government? Can they do anything to help the productivity challenge?
As any business knows, it's their investments, their decision and their leadership that's going to determine their own productivity performance. That's not to say that government is a passive bystander in all of this. It affects business decisions in lots of ways. The way it taxes, regulates or procures goods and services can affect business decisions. One of the most important things that government can do, it's getting the whole pipeline of the education system really working for modern businesses. Education system, careers advice and guidance, high quality apprenticeship programs and a good further education system right the way through to the higher education system that will deliver kind of great engineers and great management skills. But we also need to get the basics right. Having competitive tax system that can drive investment decisions, and also just the nuts and bolts of our economy, getting the infrastructure right. That's really important to have good roads, good airports, good broadband capacity, the things that help businesses just operate efficiently day to day.
And what about working with international partners?
Absolutely right. This is improving productivity is a shared ambition, not just one for the UK. We see lots of other countries really striving to improve their performance as well. And governments can get more bang for their buck by working collaboratively and strategically with overseas partners. So if we think about the UK's relationship with the European Union, for example, lots of ways in which we can work together to build big ambitious trade agreements, for example. So that can really help expand the market potential for UK companies and on those in the rest of Europe, giving them more markets to aim at and helping them to improve their efficiency and productivity.
How about yourself? What would you suggest to organisations struggling with productivity?
I think one of the most important things for any individual business is to have a clear goal. Really thinking about where you want to get to in terms of the productivity performance in the business and understanding where the weaknesses are. And it's important for management to have that sense of ambition so it can be clearly communicated to all the workforce. If you're going to drive that kind of culture change around continuous improvement, then you really need to have buy-in right across the organisation. And then it's about how you line up the individual investments that you make as a business behind those objectives. So thinking about where you're investing in terms of your technology, how are you driving forward with new product development, which can give you an edge in the home market or indeed in overseas markets, and how are you training your people in order to be able to deliver on all these goals.
What about finance?
All of these things cost money. Absolutely. And particularly for smaller companies, having access to good source of external finance, not something that has been in abundant supply over the last couple of years, but I think that is a real crucial element for the UK's productivity performance as we go forward.
What type of skills are in demand in a high productivity economy?
Well, the most important thing for a business is to have really good management and leadership, setting the direction of the business and having ambitions around growth and improved productivity. So as far as the skills requirements goes, it is all about having great management skills. And actually, if you look at the UK historically, that's an area where we've perhaps not performed quite as strongly as some of our developed world competitors. The US, for example, stands out as having a stronger management culture than the UK. But similarly, businesses need to be working with all aspects of the education system, engaging future engineers and also working with schools and colleges on apprenticeship programs, which are becoming increasingly important for industrial businesses.
If exporters are more productive, how can we get more businesses exporting?
Well, let me start with why exporters tend to be more productive. They are exposed to more global competition, which puts more pressure to be efficient. But there also is a lot more market opportunity if you're selling to the whole world rather than just the domestic market. So big opportunities, but also more challenges come with exporting. That means exporting won't necessarily be right for every business. But if you have the right products and the right strategies, then the key thing that exporters need is really good information. Where are the opportunities and how do they navigate particular regulatory or cultural hurdles in getting into and accessing those markets? Government actually can play a role here as well. So we've got lots of expertise in overseas commercial posts, and they can provide businesses with really good advice and making sure that they don't trip up and making sure that they can secure those export opportunities much more quickly than if they were doing so on their own.
Lee Hopley, thank you for your time today.
Thank you.